can't believe it. The way you look.
Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KidBadger.com, here to bring you a follow-up on this original SOE gear med kit that I have on my gear. And today we're going to talk about the stuff I have in there and why. When I stock this kit, concerns are twofold. One, I want to make sure everything in here I actually have some level of competency with. I can actually use this equipment. And two, I want to make sure whatever I have access to first is going to be what I need first. So of course, in some sort of trauma, first thing we're going to look at is hemorrhaging. Got to take care of that immediately. Someone will bleed out really fast. For that, we have tourniquets. I don't keep a tourniquet on here, keep one on my person as well as on my kit. That's addressed. Moving past that, we run into the issue of creating an airway, making sure someone can breathe. So as soon as I open this, the first thing I have access to is my airway kit. I have a endotracheal tube. This, yes, it's plastic covered with paper and more plastic. It ended up ripping. Do I care? No. Whatever I'm doing is not going to be a sterile environment to begin with. And even if I replace this every couple weeks, it's still going to end up wearing through. Not concerned. I want to keep that person alive so they can get to follow-on care. This will allow me to do that. So going with this endotracheal tube, I have a disposable scalpel, again, immediate access to. And then I also have this syringe used for inflating this, creating that airway. I have these, you're like, what the hell is that thing? I have these because I've used them before. I actually have some level of proficiency with them. Granted, it was on pigs. Hopefully I'm not trying to save a pig. But no, some of the best training I ever received was actually a live tissue lab. Had the good fortune of putting in a number of these to where I'm confident I can put one in if I need to. So I actually have this in my gear. And lastly, on the airway, I have an NPA up here, should I need that. Moving past airway stuff, right here, I have a halo seal. It's one of the big ones, comes with two. What this will allow, in conjunction with my shears that I have here, is I can open this guy up, take it out, and if I need a smaller bandage, I can go ahead and cut whatever I need out of the halo seal, use as a smaller bandage, or as just the occlusive dressing as it's created for any type of sucking chest wound, anything like that. But think of this as duct tape. You can use it however you see fit with the addition of some shears. So obviously I have shears in there as well. Moving past that, or I guess over the top of that rather, I also have this decompression needle. This, yeah, it's kept sterile. No matter how much I beat this stuff up, some of the stuff rides pretty well. Like this, it's in its container, it's not gonna get busted. These, obviously not sterile. Again, not super concerned. These, I obviously want sterile, and they do a good job of staying sealed inside the package because of the way they're packaged. In this pocket over here is where I keep all my stuff to deal with bleeding. Namely, my H&H compression gauze. I got two of these guys in here. These things do an amazing job. Stretch out to about 4 yards, about 4.5 inches wide. They will do an incredible job of stopping bleeding from a gunshot wound. Just take one end, and it's this huge long thing, 4 yards, and just start stuffing it. Just keep feeding it in. Pack the entire wound. If you need to, throw the second one in there. Then take that occlusive dressing we had, the halo seal, slap that over the top, keep all your bandage in place. Additionally, these don't have a coagulant in them. So I also have this, the hemostatic granules Celox. I like having these two separate because I can use this for anything. I can tie up a tent with it. I can do whatever I want with it. Obviously not ideal, but it offers a various number of uses. And if I don't want to use this, I don't have to, but having this separate, I can. What I can do is open up my compression bandage, or I'm sorry, my compressed gauze rather. Go ahead, open this guy up, pour it directly into my gauze, and then jam that into the wound if I need to. And lastly, with respect to bleeding, in this little pouch over here, I keep Band-Aids. Like, really, Band-Aids? So many times you'll be out there and something little insignificant, get a cut on your finger. You don't want stuff infected. It's a lot easier to have Band-Aids than be like, oh, well, I can just make a Band-Aid. I'll take out some compression gauze, break out that halo seal, done, I just made a Band-Aid. Yeah, you also ruined half your first aid kit right there. So really simple, really easy. Throw some Band-Aids in there, done and done. Last thing I have going on in here is my Kim light. Tons of uses for a Kim light. Additionally, the way this is set up is when this is all closed up, I can reach back. If it's on 6 o'clock on my battle belt, I can just reach behind me and start pushing from over here and pull this Kim light out without ever having to remove this med kit, which is good because a lot of uses for the Kim light. If it turns out it's not a medical emergency, it's just a rave, crack that thing, you're in business. When you set up your first aid kit, go ahead and take a little bit of time and think about it. Make sure you have things that you're competent with, and make sure you have things set up in such a way that what you need access to first is going to be the first thing that's accessible to you. One last thing, a lot of this stuff is pretty cheap. Halo seals, H&H compression gauze. Get duplicates, spend a little time familiarizing yourself with it, open it up, see what it actually is before you need it. As always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.